Hello everybody, happy new year. It is -3 degrees here, so I want to keep warm. That's why I'm wearing the snooty today. But what we've got coming out, Games Workshop have released more spearheads. I'm going to go take a look at them. We're going to do some list building with them. We're going to see how they can be used in your games of WARCRY. As with all of these, the details and all the lists and all the stuff that I basically have is going to be put on offmetamusings.com, so you can check out lists built out of every single spearhead that Games Workshop has released to date, and you can use that and have it as a resource for you to use during your games. If you're watching this and you are one of the 30% of people who's managed to make it more than 30 seconds into my video, which means you actually care what it's about. So if you want to see more videos like this, there are a couple of things that you can do. You can give me a like, you can give me a subscribe, put a comment down in the comment section below, tell me what you think about the video itself. And if you want to give me some more support, you can come and join me on Discord, you can join my Patreon, you can join me as a channel member right here on YouTube. But for those of you who are already watching, a big thank you for myself, and let's get back to the video. Before we begin, rules. A great many of you will be watching this video who will already be playing WARCRY and who will know all about list building and that kind of thing. But for any of you that's new here, specifically, this is what I'm going to follow. Okay, so we're only going to use what's in the box. The idea is you've been playing Spearhead already. You only have what's in the box, and we're going to be list building from that stuff. There's also going to be no counts as models. We're just going to be taking the models as they come. Alternative builds are allowed. Depending on the Spearhead rules themselves, you may be able to build, for example, the Seraphon Lord on Carnosaur, or you might be able to build it as the Skink Priest on Troglodyte. So if you don't have those models, if you built it one way, I'm going to be offering you lists for the other way you can build it, or if you have any parts left over, you'll be able to build those other models. Those models are going to be allowed in this. We are going to be as close to 1,000 points as possible. Sometimes the points just don't add up when we're doing things. We might end up at 920 points, we might end up at 950 points, but these will be lists that I would be looking to bring if I just had those models available to me. On top of that, we're going to be taking base WARCRY rules, so we're not going to be looking at allies unless there are stuff in the box that allows you to take those allies. We're not going to be looking at thralls for the same reason, and we are not going to be looking at divine blessings. Okay, so let's start with the new Gloomspite Gitz spearhead, the Snarlfang Huntaz. This thing comes with a Snarl boss, the Wolf Git retinue, 2 Sunstealer Wheelers, and 6 Snarlfang Cavalry. Now, something interesting about this warband is that the Wolf Git retinue that you get are actually the Warhammer Underworld's Bladeborn unit Ripper's Snarlfangs. So that's definitely something that we can look at. On the downside, it's basically a bunch of cavalry, and you can't use the chariots because there are no rules for the chariots. That doesn't mean that the spearhead is a complete write-off. Like, I think normally for your games, this is one you probably want to avoid. But if you are picking up this, you can put a 5-man warband together. That'll be pretty fast. Just don't ask it to do things like open doors and climb stairs, because it won't be able to, because most of them are just beasts. The list that I've put together for you is a Snarlfang boss, 2 Snarlfang Cavalry, and then Menai and Stabbit. Like I said, you do get Ripper Snarlfangs. They are in there, so you do get to use those guys as kind of some cheaper dudes. This warband comes to 985 points, so there is rather some space in there to add some divine blessings if you want to. I think the warband itself, so they're all cavalry, unfortunately, and cavalry has all sorts of downsides in WARCRY. So having an entire warband made up of cavalry does kind of limit you in what you can do. But that being said, there are some decent enough units in here. I really like the Snarlfang boss. I think for a 4-5-3-4 profile, 28 wounds, toughness 5, that's really solid. Yeah, it's 280 points, but it's also movement 8, so it's kind of getting there, and it's kind of doing things that you want it to do. They all get backstabbing mob. So if there's a visible friendly fighter within 1 inch of them, they get +1 attack and +1 strength, and that's on a double. So considering that Onslaught has moved from a double to a triple for +1 attack, being able to go +1 attack, +1 strength, and any of your guys on a double, as long as they have a supporting guy, I think that's a pretty good ability now. And I think that, especially in this case where you want to get as much bang for your buck as possible out of these guys, I think that's very, very useful. Most of your Snarlfang Cavalry will go to 4 attacks at strength 6, so they should be winning on 3s anyway, and they've got a decent damage profile to kind of back that up. being Snarlfang themselves, you've got Mean Eye and you've got Stab It. They got Snarlfang's Jaws, which is basically you run in, you roll a dice, so you do a whole bunch of damage. So that's fine. The Snarlpack Cavalry and the Snarlpack Boss, they have their own double slavering Jaws. It's genuinely not bad. If they kill someone on a double, they get to make a free move action, and their move is 8 inches, so you can move really far. For the rest of the battle round, they're going to get +1 toughness if they were within 1 inch of a fighter. So what you're looking to do is, at the end of turn 1, be in combat with a guy, roll a bunch of dice, knock him out, use your double slavering Jaws, get a free move off, do another attack action on another guy. That's really how this warband is going to work. They do have a couple of other abilities available to them. The Snarlpack Boss has Stab 'em Good, which is +1 attack to all friendly fighters within 6, which is, again, a decent triple, especially considering that Oswald has gone from a double to a triple, so he gets to, on a triple, give everyone +1 attack instead of just himself, which is very nice. I think, overall, this warband, yeah, it's not balanced at all, because it's just 5 guys and they are all cavalry. Against some of the other warbands that we've been talking about, though, especially against some of the smaller warbands, maybe some of the less damaging warbands, I can definitely see this will be able to do a thing, and you just have to hope that there will be no objectives up on top of pillars or anything like that, and hope that your opponent doesn't jump out the way. Moving on to the Nurgle Spearhead. Bubonic Cell. We've got 1 Rotbringer Sorcerer, 1 Beast of Nurgle, 6 Nurglings, and 10 Rotmire miniatures. Now, I'm assuming, I haven't seen the new Nurgle book yet, but I'm assuming that because this is going to be a Maggotkin of Nurgle Spearhead itself, and it contains Rotmire Creed, and it contains demons, and it contains a Nurgle Rotbringer Sorcerer, I'm assuming that in that next book you'll be able to match all 3. Unfortunately for WARCRY, that isn't super fantastic. You have the Rotmire Creed, which are their own faction. Then you've got Nurgle Demons, which, again, are their own faction. And then you've got Nurgle Rotbringers, which is its own faction. So between those 3, you can, yeah, sure, you can build 1 box Rotmire Creed. That's absolutely fine. You totally could do. But with just this box, you can't build a Nurgle Demons warband because you don't have the hero. And you can't build a Nurgle Mortals because you don't have a hero. Now, what you could do is just build the Rotmire Creed and then use the Nurgle to do whatever. But that's a bit boring, so we're not going to talk about that. What I think we should be doing is we should be using the Rotbringer Sorcerer, and we will use the Sorcerer, we will proxy it, and I know I said no proxies or anything, but it's the only real way to make this warband work. We'll proxy it as a Sloppity Bilepiper from Nurgle Demons. If you do that, you have an 8-man warband that's made up of 6 Nurglings, a Beast of Nurgle, and a Bilepiper. Now, suddenly that does have play, because your Nurglings, they all have 20 wounds, and they all have movement 5. The Beast of Nurgle is just a brick. It's a very cost-effective unit for 150 points you're paying. And then you've got the Sloppity Bilepiper, who has that double Jolly Gut Pipes, which gives a big old 7-inch plus bonus move aura, as long as they do the move within 7 inches. So that means your Nurglings effectively go up to move 6. Your Beast of Nurgle effectively goes up to move 5. Nurglings themselves aren't terrible. They've got 6 attacks, 1 free damage, whatever. So I actually think that this makes for a pretty neat little warband, actually. It isn't going to be the best Nurgle warband, because, I mean, it's got very little actual punch, but in terms of being able to get places and being able to bog people down and being able to kill chaff, I think it's got the chops, and I think it can definitely achieve things on the battlefield, especially in a weird spearhead versus spearhead or spearhead versus 1-box format. I definitely think so. Let's remember that with the advent of the new Respite double, the Nurgling Quad Endless Swarm is basically a moot ability. The Nurgling Quad, it would heal up to double the amount of the ability, but now you've got a double anyway that can kind of do that, but just a single amount of the ability. So you're going to have Nurglings, they're going to be healing, you're going to have Jolly Gut Pipes making things faster, you're going to have the Beast of Nurgle doing Slime Trail, and then on top of that, you do have their very good reaction, Impossible to Wound, minusing damage from the actual incoming hits. So you'll stick around for a long time, you're fairly fast, you're fairly resilient. Lastly, we have, in terms of new spearheads, we have the Horns of Hashut, Helforge host. I said about the, what was it? The Ironjaw spearhead, and I think it was one of the Soulblight Rainbow spearheads. But they are possibly the best spearheads that you want to bring if you want to start those factions. I take that back. I think this spearhead is one of the best spearheads that you can buy if you want to play Helsmiths of Hashut. If you want to see my actual how to build, Out of this warband, I'm going to put the link up there, and you guys can see how you want to expand this warband out into a proper, full-fledged Helsmiths of Hashut warband. You get the War Despot, which you're going to buy anyway. You got a Dominator engine, which is give or take if you actually want it or not. You've got the Infernal Bombard, which, yeah, you can't use, but hey-ho. And then you've got 11 Infernal Cohort. The way to expand this warband out into a full-blown Helsmiths of Hashut warband is basically buy a unit of the guns, and then another hero of whatever you want, and you're essentially there. You don't need to bring the Centaurs, you can if you want, so 1 or 2 boxes, and this is a fantastic core for a warband. You can even pull those 2 guys that are on the Bombard off, and you can base them onto their own bases, and then use them for your additional conversions. So it's a great warband. The question is, what are you building with it? We're going to be bringing the War Despot. We're going to bring the Dominator. There we go. We're going to bring the Dominator engine with us. I wanted to take a Musician because the Musician does have the very good +1 attack bubble for basically everything in the warband, and then a whole bunch of Infernal Cohorts. It's an 8-man warband, which is big enough. The Infernal Cohort are tough enough, which is great. You get access to the Helsmiths of Hashut battle trait that produces them on power points for you, which you can use to either add bonus strength, bonus attacks, or bonus damage to your attacks. And then I think the most important thing for this warband specifically, building out of this box, is that you get the War Despot and not one of the other 2. The War Despot is your premier hero. It has Black-Hearted Conqueror, which is a free move action for 3 guys. So he's going to be the linchpin of your warband. You've got the Dominator engine. You can build it with maces or with immolation cannons. I would always build it with immolation cannons. I feel like maces are a bit of a trap. The reason being that you have to physically go to a place and bomb things with maces, whereas the immolation cannon does have that 5-inch range that really, like, it offsets the fact that your base is just huge and you won't be able to move places.